Hi, this is Joni Lindquist with Aspire Wealth Partners. I'm a career and executive coach and certified financial planner at Aspire Wealth Partners, where we help people master what's next. We specialize in transitions and help the whole individual and their family and help them in their path along their career, advancing and managing their career, and then also managing their money and all the decisions so that they can live the life that they want. And so today I wanted to take a couple minutes just for those of you who are employed right now. First, you'll be grateful for that. We all should be grateful for those who still have jobs. Also, might be a good time to kind of check in on your job and career fitness and where you are and just take a pulse of that. So, today, I'm going to walk through a couple slides to help you think through where you are in your career and if you might want to make any changes, either changing jobs and or building your job into something slightly different. So this is a really good slide that was created by Rob Bennett in his book about the path to plentiful free time and a soul-satisfying work. And we've used this chart with our clients over the years. Just to, again, it's a nice pulse of where are you today, because this will vary over the course of your career and, of course, over the course of several jobs. And you can see that when you're down, that's because you're either overwhelmed or indifferent. And then on the upswing, happily challenged, smooth sailing. And then you start to go on the downswing when you're bored. And then when you get to a new challenge, you have an uptick again. So it's a really good time while we're dealing with all that we are in this pandemic and the world has changed. Your job might have changed, your industry might have changed. And so it might be a good time to step back and say, well, where am I on this continuum right now? And if I look forward to what might change in the world and in my industry, where do I see myself moving on this life cycle? And if you're in that smooth sailing or happily challenged areas, that's terrific. That's great to kind of reconfirm that. We'll ask you a few questions to check in on that more. But if you're bored or indifferent or overwhelmed, then you might want to ask yourself, additional questions sort of to test where you are. So the way I think about career satisfaction is it's really the intersection of these three bubbles on the left part of this slide. So those three areas are what you are good at. We naturally have different talents and strengths. And if you can find a career that you are good at, that's a start. And then where you have the intersection of what you love to do, these go hand in hand, because what we tend to be good at, we're also love to do it because we just continue to grow and develop in doing that. So that's the second intersection. And then where the key comes is this red intersection here in the three bubbles, is then what you are good at, what you love to do, and then who or how much is somebody willing to pay you for that. And hopefully you can find a sweet spot there. For many of us, we often talk about, I want to do my passion as my career. One, there's different issues with that. The first one being that many of us have more than one passion in life. So that doesn't necessarily always turn a passion into a career. Secondly, oftentimes passions are something we are good at, we love to do, but going back to this red intersection here, nobody's willing to pay us for it. Just talking to a friend the other day about doing something, I'd love to help people, design this widget thing, but nobody's willing to pay me for that. Well, then that's an issue. That's not your sweet spot then. So what you're trying to find is the sweet spot of those three bubbles, and then understanding how that funds your lifestyle and building a financial plan that incorporates your career and your earnings perspective and earnings potential and how that feeds your lifestyle over the course of multiple decades. And if you might have to change that over the course of decades, but at least it puts it all together where your career is funding your lifestyle. And you might make career changes based on, you want a certain level of lifestyle and therefore you're going to pursue something differently as a career. I always was interested in being a coach, which I'm now an executive coach. But quite frankly, when I got out of college, coaches weren't making a lot of money. I was a tennis player. I wasn't going to make much money coaching or teaching tennis. So then what I'm good at, what I love to do, it hit that sweet spot, but it didn't hit how much I wanted to make in order to fund the lifestyle that I knew I wanted to live. So I had to figure out a different way and other things that I'm good at and other things I love to do that somebody was willing to pay for, and that makes more sense. So spending some time around what these things are, can really help you. And now's a pretty good time. Not that you're necessarily going to jump and go look for another job tomorrow during this unsettling time, but it does give you a sense for where you might want to go when things start to settle down, even if that's a year, 18 months from now. It's a good thing to start thinking about this. And it could be within your own company. It just could be a different job within the company you are at right now, where the intersection of this really comes to play for you. And then the last slide here is the end of this taking your career pulse. And for many of you, hopefully you're very happy in your job and where your career is heading and the advancement opportunities. And these are just another set of questions to get you thinking about that. And for some of us, maybe we're overwhelmed right now because of all the work that we have to do, because it's impacted our industry, it's impacted our company and our work, and therefore we're feeling overwhelmed. And to take you out of that feeling, a sense of being overwhelmed, it's good to ask these questions and kind of confirm for yourself that you're really hitting a lot of these. So the am I learning? I hear that often from clients about, yeah, I'm good at what I do, but I don't see any advancement here. It's not always about the dollars. It's about growth and learning and developing. We don't want to stay still in life, typically in our career. So how do I keep learning and growing? Secondly, am I having fun? We can do a lot of jobs with what we like to do and what we're good at, but do you love it? And are you in a situation, in a company, in a group that allows you to have fun at what you do? And then thirdly, this gets to the sense of purpose. We talk about that a lot, having a sense of purpose in your work. And that could be very different things. If you feel like you're helping people, you're making an impact, you're making your business better, you're helping your clients, whatever that might be that gratifies you, you tap into that. Fourth is, am I using my strengths on a routine basis? Often we get sideways in our job or our career when we get in a job that we can do, but it really doesn't suit our strengths. So we can do it and we're okay at it, but it's really not utilizing our strengths day in, day out for the bulk of the day. And that can get wearing. And that could be where you are at this time frame. And you have to assess, is this just because of this pandemic and economic crisis we're going through, that I'm not using my strengths and I'm having to help my company do different things? Or is it a longer tenured problem that your job isn't really allowing you to use your strengths? You might want to, again, think about how you can shift your job, or maybe perhaps do a different job within your current organization that would allow you to tap into your strengths on a routine basis. And then the fifth one here is, am I fairly rewarded? We always want to make sure that we're fair. Notice I say you're not the highest paid or the lowest paid. Are you fairly rewarded for the work you are producing for your employer? And how does that feel to you? And notice I kind of have this towards the end of this, because I think the other things really come into play, and then you've got to ask yourself if you're getting paid appropriately. And the last thing on this is the unknown right now. Typically, I talk to clients about what trends could impact their profession, their journalism that's been, upside down the last, since the internet came along. So it could be your profession you've chosen, it could be the industry you're in, and it could be your particular job within the company that could be impacted by the trends that are coming on. And it's hard to know how this is all going to play out and how it could affect your career. But I do think that there's some value in taking some time just to understand where you are. And again, if you're not fully aligned here, where you're doing something you love and you're getting paid fairly, and you're having fun and you're using your strengths, then over time, try to shift into something else. And I would say with your current employer. And then for those where you're hitting all of this, it's great just to reconfirm and validate that, yeah, I am hitting most of these things. And so when you get up every day in the sort of monotony working from home, it may feel like you're not making progress, but tapping into this may give you a sense of, yeah, I really am on a good path. And that's a good feeling to have right now with everything else uncertain. So thank you for your time. Good luck. If you need help with career transitions, advancement, or you are unfortunately looking for a job, we're here to help. Have a good day.